Cisco Unified Communications Manager version 10 has a new feature that allows end users to easily provision a phone that's been added to the database either through bulk administration or auto registration. Basically, you can plug a phone in, the end user can then dial a pre-configured number, enter their extension, the phone restarts, and the end user is ready to go. This is done without the need for any external server or the TAP service. To demonstrate how this is accomplished, I'm going to start by clicking on the User Management tab and then going into User Phone Add. You'll notice there's a new option here, Universal Line Template, and this is where I'm going to start. This basically allows me to create a template for directory numbers. From here, there are many settings that can be configured. I'm just going to change a few. I'll name this Line Self Pro. And modify line description with first name space last name. And these macros will be populated once the end user signs in. I'll also add that macro to the alerting name. This is what's seen when users call us. This is what gets displayed on that user's phone. And notice just about every setting that's available can be modified under this template. The next thing I'll demonstrate will be the device template. And this will provide the settings that will be applied to the end user phones. I'll name this device Self Pro. And for the device description, I will also use first name space last name. The device pool is required. Also, I'll select the default for device security profile. I'll choose the standard SIP profile. This is required if the phone that the end user is provisioning is a SIP phone or a Jabber application. I'll choose the default for the phone button template. Under phone button configuration, I'll edit line 1. And here I'll change the line label to be first name space last name. And I'll also make that the caller ID. I'll change it up this time. Last name space first name. Just because this is the demonstration and we can pretty much use any descriptions we'd like. And notice this page can also be modified. It can be customized. So if certain settings, if you often change or want to modify certain settings, instead of having to expand each of these every time you create a new template, you can customize the layout by using the page layout preference tool. And that allows you to set which of these items are going to be expanded or compressed. I'll go ahead and save this. The next item that I'm going to configure is going to be the user profile. Under user settings, the user profile, this is where I'm going to set that end users can use self-provisioning. So I'll tick this box, and I'll also apply the line template as well as the device template. And notice whether it's a desk phone or a soft phone, such as IP communicator, or a Jabber device, we have the ability to apply the same or different device templates to each of these. I'll name this Profile Self-Pro. Now I'm going to modify or create a feature group template. And the feature group template has settings that would pertain to Jabber users, but it also has an important setting that's going to apply when importing users from LDAP. And I will demonstrate what that is. Notice I have the option to set that the end user is allowed to use Jabber and whether their meeting information is going to be displayed. What I'm most interested for the purpose of this example is the user profile setting. And here is where I associate the user profile that I just created, which has the tick box that says end users who have this profile can use self-provisioning. Once I've accomplished that, I'll go ahead and save. And now I'm going to synchronize users from my Microsoft Active Directory server using LDAP, which is Lightweight Directory Authentication Protocol. And I'll show you that I currently do not have users added to the database, nor do I have phones. However, we're going to change both of that very soon. To pull users in, I'll go to the LDAP directory setting, and I've already enabled my system for LDAP. I've already activated the Cisco Direct Sync service, and I've already configured the LDAP page with the correct username and search space path. However, now I can use the feature group template so that end users who are synchronized using this LDAP are now going to be able to provision their own phones. While I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of the new feature which allows me to assign users to an access group while they're being synchronized from LDAP. So I'll choose just the standard CUCM end users. And I'm also going to select or create a pool of extensions. And so as the users are synchronized from Microsoft, they're going to come into the database. They will have the feature group template assigned. They will be able to provision their own phones. They're going to be in the standard end users group, and I'm going to select which extensions they have available to them. So I'll go ahead and add 5 extensions here. And once I save this, I'm ready to perform a synchronization. So I'll choose Perform Full Sync Now. And I should see end users populating the database under User Management End User. And there they are. So these are the 3 users that I had configured in Active Directory. They're now in the Cisco database. I should see that they have an ID or an extension in the DN range that I specified under the LDAP tab. They have the self-pro profile associated to them. They will also be members of the standard CUCM end users group. Notice the primary extension was assigned to them, and it's also the number they're going to use when prompted by the self-provisioning service. All right, before I can have this user provision a phone, I need to do a few things. The next item is I'm going to create a CTI route point. This is basically a virtual phone that we can assign a DN to, an extension to. It's this extension that will be dialed by end users. And this extension will prompt them to log in or sign in to their phone. So I'll call it the CTI Self Pro, and give it a device pool. What I'm most interested in is once I save it, I'm now able to assign an extension. And so this is the number that will be dialed by the end users. 4357 spells help, and that works. Save twice. The next item is I need to create an application user, and this user is going to be associated to the CTI route point and will also have the standard CTI enable role assigned to it. So the new application user, I'll give it a name of user self pro. Password is not required for what we're going to use this user for, but it's a habit of mine. I need to associate the CTI route point as a controlled device to this user. And I also need to assign this application user to the standard CTI enabled group. Then I can click Save. The next step is I need to add both the CTI route point and this application user to the self-provisioning tab. That's located under User Management, Self-Provisioning. Here's where I can decide what authentication mode, if any, is going to be used by the end users once they plug in a phone or try to provision a phone. We can have the system prompt them for a password or PIN. Additionally, administrators can be assigned an authentication code, and they can authenticate on behalf of the end user. We can also choose no authentication required. This is going to work perfect for the demonstration, but it's probably not something you would use in the real world. I'm going to associate the CTI route point and the application user. Now, when I click Save, it says that we need to restart the self-provisioning service. And notice when I click Save, I'm going to get a warning. It says there was a violation of security protocols. However, if I click Save again, it says, okay, never mind. So Now that that's been configured, I need to get some phones added to the database so we can provision them. So the easiest way to accomplish this is going to be by using auto registration, and this is available under System Cisco Unified CM. I'll click on the server that I want to use for auto registration and create a list of numbers. These numbers will be handed out to the phones one at a time as they're allowed to auto register. Notice also in version 10 that we need to assign both a device and line template. I'll use the self-provision, the demonstration templates that I created. Specify a range of 10 phone numbers. Try that again. And it should automatically untick the box if I'm patient. Okay. And now the end user would simply plug in their phone, and we would expect it to auto register, and then they would be able to set that phone up themselves. So I'm going to demonstrate how that will be accomplished. So I'm going to restart my IP communicator. And looks like it didn't stay alive after I closed it. Sometimes it likes to do that. I'm not using emergency responder, so that's normal. And we would expect this phone to pull an extension in the 1000 to 1010 range. And there it is. So this phone is auto-registered. And what I'm going to do is dial the CTI route point and automatically provision this phone to one of our end users.
To provision this device, enter your self-provisioning identification number followed by the pound key. You have entered 4001. Press the pound key to confirm or re-enter the identification. This device will now restart with a new extension. Goodbye.
And that was successful. So now I would expect the phone to restart, and it will take on the identity of one of the LDAP users, in this case Jane White. So now this is Jane White's phone. If I go to device, phone, I see that the description is what I set it to be in the device template, first name, last name. If I click on the line, it also is set, both the description and the alerting name, first name, last name, just as I configured in the line template. And going back to the phone, I will see that the user has been assigned J White as well. Alright, so this concludes the demonstration for the new feature of phone self-provisioning, which is a new option on Cisco Unified Communication Manager version 10. I hope you found this video useful.